All right, we are rolling. This who's hosting this? Because I don't know. Is this Full Moon Friday or Steve Cast?
I think this is like the Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong Outpost Unknown. We're combining the powers of Full Moon Fridays and Steve Cast. So, we'll put it in both playlists. How about that? Hi, everybody.
Sure.
Welcome to another episode of Full Moon Steve Cast. My name is Matthew. We're on video for this. We are joined once again by you guys who keep making the conscious decision to do this week. Over there in Sweden is Borp.
Hello. Happy to be here.
Are you?
I said no to other plans to be here.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
No,
that's a poor choice.
We already said we're doing this. And I said, I can't bail on my friends.
Your friend? Which one's your friend, Borp?
Friends. Plural. Friends. I said friends.
No, it's cool. I can't wait to sit here for 3 hours watching. What, Steve? I'm introducing you here. What are we watching?
Evil Bong 3, subtitle Reefer Madness ? Apparently it's called something else. On the Wrath of Bong, potentially is another name for this. Part 2 did the same thing. Like on Tubi, it was called Devil's Harvest, but everywhere else it's called King Bong. So I don't know. We are here because of Borp. Borp said, "Hey, let's watch Evil Bong," and Matt and I were like, "Yeah, okay, we'll watch one Evil Bong movie." And
this is exactly what happened.
Oh no, we got to watch the entire series. And then Borp said, after Matt and I begrudgingly accepted Borp's terms, Borp was like, "We got to watch one together. Not separately. We got to watch one together." So that brought us to the Steve Cast here. Matt, back me up. That's 100% what happened.
Don't forget where he was like, and I kind of want you guys to cancel all of your plans for the next few weeks on every Sunday in order for us to get through this as a team, as a friendship team. I don't know, man. Borp, what do you have to say for yourself?
You guys are fuckers.
You should be like, actually, I'm going to call up my other friends and go do the thing I was planning to do.
No. I want you guys to know that they said, "Hey, we're doing this thing if you want to come on by." I said, "No, I'm doing a podcast about Evil Bong 3, Wrath of Bong." And they said, "Okay, you can come by afterwards." And I had to look them in the face and said, "No, we're going to run for 3 hours."
Yeah, that's good, because the people listening to like 3 hours, surely Evil Bong 3, The Wrath of Bong Reefer Madness is not 3 hours. Steve, explain to the viewer out there why they're going to have to sit through, or we're going to have to sit through 3 hours of this movie.
So here on the Steve Cast, we watch movies in chunks. So we are going to watch the first 20 minutes of Evil Bong 3. We're going to break. We're going to discuss. We're going to watch the next 20 minutes of Evil Bong 3. We're going to break. We're going to discuss. And we're going to keep doing that until we finish this movie. I think we're going to do 4 20 minute segments. And I think that's apt for what we're doing here today. The movie is officially an hour and 26 minutes, but I checked, the last 6 minutes are credits, so it comes pretty much perfectly in at 4 20-minute segments. Yeah. This sucks. I have so many regrets.
Now, I'm actually curious, because we have watched the first 2 Evil Bong movies on our own, right? We've made the conscious choice to sit in front of a television, press play by ourselves with nobody present, suffering through these Charles Band directed things. And he directed this one as well. I'm curious, was this the one franchise Charles Band's like, no one else can touch it? I got this, guys. Don't worry. I got this. I'm going to direct every single one of them. But I'm curious, will we have a better time watching Evil Bong 3 since we're experiencing it together? Or is it still going to be complete pain and suffering, in that, our friendship may end after this? Who knows? Stick around, folks. What do you guys think? Do you think it'll be a better experience watching it together?
I think
Better
we'll have fun.
Yeah, better experience, yes. Will the movie actually have any sort of quality whatsoever? No. I will say, like my understanding of this one is a bong from outer space comes to Earth, and so I mean, I think making it just more and more absurd is probably the correct choice with these movies. I can't imagine a serious take on the Evil Bong series. Maybe that's what we do. Let's remake Evil Bong and we play it just completely like straight and just try to make it actually like horrific and scary. We're never gonna do that, but it would be an interesting thought. This is gonna be garbage. God, I have no faith whatsoever in this. I wish Borp had allowed us to proceed with just watching one film in the franchise like Matt and I wanted. But here we are.
Well, that's how it goes. Did you guys know that there's a fan of Full Moon has a story credit on this? Like they took, yeah. Okay.
I was just about to read this. I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now for the production. The subtitle, The Wrath of Bong, was submitted by a fan named Patrick Klepek as part of a contest to name the film. Incidentally, he misread the contest rules and also submitted an idea for the plot, which was fleshed out and used in the movie, earning him a writing credit. So we have Patrick Klepek, in addition to Borp, to thank for suffering through this.
Yeah, and he's a podcast personality. He podcasts about video games. So I've listened to him tell the story of how this happened. And I think he proposed to his wife at the premiere of Evil Bong 3.
This got a premiere.
Yeah, they had a premiere and everything, and it was
Yeah, I'm going to read the marketing and release segment here of Wikipedia. In 2011, Full Moon announced a sweepstakes ahead of the film's theatrical release, asking fans to post their own teaser trailers for the film for a chance to win $4,020, guys. With only 6 winners, other contests invited fans to submit photos and videos of themselves for a chance to be awarded the title of Biggest Stoner or recognized for having the nicest genitalia. That feels problematic to me.
That does. So is there going to be a segment in this film where he just throws in all of the clips that were submitted because that's less work for him to do?
Ooh,
probably.
That's good. Like, is half the running time just clips of fans who put the stuff in there?
Like, that would be completely, entirely on brand for Charles Band to take someone else's work and like throw it into his movie and be like, oh, look, I care about fans.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to say. Are we ready to...
I got nothing else.
Evil Bong.
I mean, let's do this.
I could hear the enthusiasm in your voice there, Borp.
Yay!
All right, we're doing it. We are going to push. Well, first of all, we encourage the listener out there to pull up Evil Bong 3 as well and watch it alongside us. Pause at every 20 minutes and then turn us back on to listen to our thoughts. But we are going to push play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fuck you, Borp. Wow. We're back. We spent that 20 minutes, all three of us, sitting there completely stone-faced, not laughing at anything happening on screen.
Oh, wow, that's
stone-faced. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, wow.
That's the level of joke that would be in this film. So to answer the question, is this movie better if you watch it in a group? No, it's not.
No.
Thank you, Borp. Once again, we appreciate you really going to bat for this franchise and making us watch the whole
You
lot.
guys were the ones who were like, these movies are so bad, we need to change to 4-bat.
Edit all that out, Steve. Just bleep. Every time Borp says something to defend himself, just bleep it out. Beep, beep, beep. You guys, beep, beep, beep.
And we agree, Borp. This is all your fault.
And one
It's
viewer is
2-1.
going to be like, wow, Borp is saying a bunch of slurs.
Yeah. Borp, we live in a post-truth world now. Truth is whatever reality the majority makes of it, and the majority says you caused all this, Borp. This is all you.
That's
buddy.
not untrue. All right, so let's talk about the plot and all of the things that happen in this movie. It starts with a guy who has apparently just killed his wife and is burying her body. He steals all the jewels off her body, and he's like, consider this a divorce. Good luck to Satan. I hope you burn in hell. It's ha ha ha. You know how boomers hate their wives? Tee hee. Funny, right? Then we get this awful like PS1 era CG scene of a green planet and then a giant like ball of weed flying through space like a meteor and crashing into the ground. And after this guy buries his wife, he goes over to the meteorite and pulls the new bong. I don't know if this bong has a name yet. We're going to call it Space Bong until they give us something better.
Yeah.
So he pulls out Space Bong and he leaves. Then we get 37 minutes of random B-roll that Charles Band apparently shot on Venice Beach.
Yeah.
They cut back to this B-roll several times during this opening 20 minutes, and they repeat some of the shots. So it's like he got 45 seconds of B-roll and then just looped it to get like 2 to 3 minutes of just space filler.
You got to do what you got to do, Steve.
Oh, yep.
You could be judging this too fast, right? This could come back. I believe.
Because
we're not an hour left.
We're not exactly sure what the Venice Beach footage, why it's there right now. I think, Borp, you said, well, maybe, and we'll get to it, they head to this sort of like head shop, and maybe that's supposed to be at Venice Beach, but it's not clear. Yeah, it's not 100% clear.
I assumed we were going to get a shot of them just kind of like going down the street of Venice Beach, and then they will cut in the face of like a weed shop and continue the pan to make it look like this shop is on Venice Beach. And then we go into the store. But they didn't do that. We're 20 minutes in. We've seen like 15,000 minutes of B-roll of Venice Beach. Its purpose in the movie is still not clear. Like that's the kind of thing that you would think you would establish early on if you're going to keep rolling back to this B-roll. But Charles Band is a master. He defies all expectations here.
Well, when the alien bong or space bong, whatever, first is taken out of like the meteor, I don't know. Like you don't actually see a close up of it. Like for a while, it's just this long shot, and I'm like, what? A director should just cut to, the guy sees it, walks up, pulls it out, and then boom, you see what he's pulled out. Charles Band doesn't do that. He shoots it from like the back, the side. You don't get an actual good look at this thing until much later on. It's weird. It's like he's not trying, guys. That's what it feels like.
Wow. To think that man would waste our time, it's unthinkable.
The man who made Trancers made this. The same director made these two films, guys.
Counterpoint, the man who's releasing all of his movies in black and white and pretending it's something new made this.
True. True.
Okay, so after the segment with like the wife killer, Al comes back. Alistair from the previous two movies. He works for just the space agency, and he's got a Geiger counter. He's walking around someone's backyard where they filmed this, and he starts taking notes. And he believes that this isn't just a meteorite. This is actually like some sort of spaceship. Or one of them thinks that this is proof of alien life rather than just a crashed meteor.
Larnell, I think, thinks that.
All right. Well, then Larnell shows up, and Larnell is dressed like a ninja. He's got a solid black mullet now. He's wearing a headband with like the red dot, like red sun Japanese flag on it.
It's like Larnell discovered anime over the summer and came back.
He did. Yes, that's a good way to put it. He is a weeb now. He talks about he's been training in the ninja arts by Master Wang Dong. So very culturally sensitive, this man here. But Larnell and Al agree to work together. So Al works for some federal space agency, and Larnell is on the run from Homeland Security because he tried to get drugs from Afghanistan, and the deal fell apart. And so he's apparently also been living in this backyard. He's a full-blown conspiracy theorist now. He wants to use this meteor as proof that alien life exists, and that will force the government to admit that alien life exists. And also, James Cameron is an alien, and Avatar was like based on a true story. Ha 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 ha! This
So
shot,
funny.
this shot. Go
I
ahead.
thought he was cured from his paranoia because of what happened in the last movie.
Well, no.
Okay.
Apparently, he is just naturally paranoid, and the only thing the evil Bong did to him in the previous movie was make him horny. I thought that they were going somewhere with like. I thought they were
I
going
see.
to. I thought in part
Okay.
2, the paranoia was like the negative thing that was happening to him.
Right.
But no, he is just naturally a conspiracy theorist.
No, you're
But
right.
in part 2, he had a boner.
Yeah, he did hump everything in part 2. And I
Yes,
just
yes.
blocked that out. So thanks for reminding me.
So they just randomly made him a paranoid dude in these movies, and apparently that's a character trait that's going to continue on. This conversation between Larnell and Al goes on forever. It goes nowhere. They spend so much time on these two people, like trying to establish like what their characters have been up to for the last 2 or 3 years, and what it's just like. Here is a list of my character traits. Now that you know them, we will continue on with the movie. By the way, in every like 2-shot, like Larnell has his hood up, but then in every like close-up single shot of him, his hood is down, and it just became very noticeable very quickly. It's almost like whoever made this didn't give a shit. Wow.
Couldn't afford a continuity person on set.
They couldn't have filmed one set of shots with the hood up and one set with it down, just in case. You got to get coverage, unless you're Charles Band. Then you just fucking wing it.
Here's the thing. You got to just use the best takes from the actor. And if, he's got multiple lines, and if one line is an amazing take with the hood up, and the next line's the amazing take with the hood down, you just got to go with what's best.
So you heard that, right, Borp? Like, Larnell had amazing dialogue, according to Matt.
Yeah.
So after the agonizingly long conversation between Al and Larnell, we get more B-roll footage of Venice Beach that goes nowhere. And then just suddenly we're in a weed shop, and the wife killer from the previous movie.
It's got to be Venice Beach weed shop, right?
Yeah, I assume. That's the only reason it's the only way that makes any sense, is like if they're trying to indicate that this shop is on Venice Beach. But in comes wife killer, and he goes into a weed shop that's owned by Bachman and Brett from the previous 2 movies. And I was telling Matt and Borb, I'm surprised that there is any sort of attempt at continuity in this film. Like I assumed all these characters would be one-offs, and like after part 2, like we are probably just moving on. There's going to be a new cast every movie, but no, like Charles Band expects us to become invested in these characters. He wants us to follow their entire life journey through the Evil Bong franchise.
You think all these people are going to be in all like 9 of these things, other than Alistair?
Yeah. Alistair is a different actor again, and they make another joke about, you look different. Have you been working out? I assume that the character will be in every movie, played by a different person in every film. But the rest of the cast, I have no reason to expect them to not show up in future movies at this point.
Guys, I gotta admit, I completely forgot about the character of Brett when he showed up.
Me too. Steve's like, Brett from the first 2 movies. Like, who's Brett?
Exactly.
I
was so confused at the end when they were talking. I'm like, who's this guy?
Yeah. He's like, what was Brett in the first 2 movies, Steve?
He was in the part 1, he was the failed baseball star. In part 2, he was the fat guy.
Oh.
That makes total sense now. Because
exactly.
Yeah, because he's like, I literally told you guys, this is going to come back around, guys, because he's a failed sports star. I forgot that he was the one with the trophies. Wow.
And meanwhile, I'm over here going, yeah, probably. You're right, man. You're right. Idiot.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
I remember everything. It's a curse, and I hate it. There's like valuable brain real estate that's being taken up by knowledge of the Brett character from the fucking
like
Evil Bong
photographic
franchise.
memory or something, dude. Jeez.
Anyways, the wife killer goes into this weed shop and he's trying to sell Space Bong along with apparently the knife he killed his wife with and the jewels that he stole from his wife. He's trying to sell them to Bachman and Brett in this weed shop. And Bachman is all about it. He wants the new Space Bong. Brett's like, absolutely not. I'll give you $20 for it. So wife killer wants $50, but Brett's talked him down to 20. But then I missed the reason why. But they tell him the wife killer's got gloves on, and Brett makes him take the gloves off to accept the money. And he's got this green fungus growing all over him like
weed.
Creepshow.
It's got to be weed, right? Start to grow all over.
Yeah, so like weed moss is growing on him. He's gonna become a plant person. Like, is it Stephen King in Creepshow 1 that gets covered in that?
Yep.
Jordy Verrill.
But that's where we think this is going. We think that any person that smokes from the Space Bong is going to get covered in weed and become a weed zombie.
Now I know Charlie's watching this because he's a big fan of the show. I have no doubt. Borp, pitch Charlie your amazing idea, your crossover idea.
Okay, so if we're doing like Invasion of the Body Snatchers type of stuff, I said when we were watching it, like we've had seed people. Now they should do weed people. That's my idea.
100%. Send us an email, outpostunknown@gmail.com. Borp will pitch you the entire story. We'll even fund it for like $500, Charles. So we want to get that out there. Weed people for sure. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
It's good that we got that in there. A little callback to seed people.
Yes.
That's the kind of continuity you expect from Outpost Unknown Productions.
Exactly.
Borp, your thoughts on this first 20 minutes?
It's really boring so far. I probably so far prefer this over the opening of 1 and 2, because at least some things are happening. Like, it's not just people hanging out.
Are things happening? I'm not sure things are happening.
Half of this 20 minutes was just two people standing there talking to each other.
Oh, yeah, I know. But like, there's at least like some sort of movement with the kid. Like the first 2 movies literally felt like people just hanging out in a room for the first 45 minutes. And it drove me up the wall. I was severely bored. It could also help that I'm here with you guys, right?
It worked. Maybe by the end of this, we feel we like it a little bit more because we're all together experiencing this in real time.
It's not that we liked it more; we just suffered less.
Exactly. And that's all. I feel like even though I'm groaning while we're watching this, I feel like I am so far suffering less with the comedy as well, because there's not as many like gross out gags.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that will change since this was filmed in 3D and we already got like a.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a tongue, hairy, fuzzy, green weed tongue coming right at us. And I remember I was like, what? Well, I don't need to see the shot. But then I remembered, oh, yeah, this was actually filmed in 3D. So somewhere, somebody experienced this like watching it with 3D glasses on, guys. Do we need to do that at some point? Do we need to watch this in 3D to get the full impact of Evil Bong 3D?
I will never watch this again after this episode. I will say that so far, the best joke that we've seen in the Evil Bong franchise actually comes from the Part 2 cover art, which was in 3D if you're high. That's the best part of any of these movies so far.
Yeah. And I think what's sort of telling about it is as we make jokes about what we're seeing, our jokes are funnier than what's actually in the movie, which is sad. What I will say about this, like, we watched 20 minutes. The first 15 minutes, 10 of it is literally just in a single outdoor location, just around the meteor. It looks like Charles Band's backyard or something. That's 10 minutes of people just standing around this thing talking. The other 5 is just B-roll of Venice Beach that, hey, let's just take a camera out there. And then the last 5 would be in the head shop or whatever. So we've had 3 locations to Borp's point, a little bit more is happening location wise. So Steve, what did you think of these 20 minutes?
This is awful. We were making comments while the movie was going on. Like, the point of this was to watch the movie together and, share the suffering. For most of that 20 minutes, we were just completely silent. and because the movie gave us nothing to work with. The only sounds that we heard from each other were as they make another joke that falls flat. Like Larnell jumps out and is like, "Yeah, I've been getting ninja training from Master Wang Dong," and we're just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get into the next 20 minutes, guys.
Super
I'm ready.
excited about it.
All right, okay, all right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push play. Welcome back, everyone. We're here. Minutes 20 to 40 of Evil Bong 3 Reefer Madness.
That's the ad that's on Tubi right now for me. We've got Big Balls, guys. The Quiz with Balls tomorrow on Fox, hosted by Jay Farrow. Can you see that?
God, everything's so stupid.
This is 2025, gentlemen. This is 2025.
Oh, God. All right.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
So,
I mean, your synopsis is going to be like 10 seconds long, Steve.
I mean, I'll do my best here. Bachman obviously takes the bong while Brett is distracted and goes and smokes it. And Space Bong, it also comes to life and has a voice. And it's very, it calls him like a stupid worm. You're a parasite. I hate you. But then then Bachman smokes it anyway and gets pulled to Bong Planet. So we had just like the Bong world from Evil Bong, and then we had like the rainforest Bong world from King Bong, and now we go to Bong Planet, and Bachman goes to Bong Planet, and there are naked chicks in fluorescent green UV paint. They look like they're like terrible Poison Ivy cosplayers. But once again, they're naked chicks in Bong World, and Bachman is all about it. So then the crew recognizes that Bachman is gone. Al and Larnell have shown up to examine the bong. They recognize that Bachman has disappeared. They spend like just a stupidly long amount of time just talking about, hey, isn't it weird how another talking bong showed up, and ha ha ha, wacky hijinks. Luann, Brett's ex-girlfriend, shows up and treats Larnell and Alistair like shit, and leaves a message for Brett to call her because apparently they broke up. Brett comes out and reveals that he doesn't want Luann back. He's got a restraining order against her. He recognized that the way that Luann treated him in part 2 when he was super shitty was bad. You guys are just not contributing whatsoever here.
There's nothing to contribute.
I'm just looking at Matt, who's like looking at the ad for Big Balls or whatever the fuck that was.
It's more entertaining. This ad, folks, is more entertaining than the past 20 minutes of what I just watched.
This 20 minutes was long.
I could just
Holy
see your
shit.
eyes like glaze over to the TV.
It's fucking terrible. Now, during this time, I posited the theory. I was like, this is worse than the first 2. And I think I'm justified right now. This is worse. Like this at least the first 2. I mean, they're bad. They're so bad. But literally nothing is happening in the first 40 minutes of this movie. Nothing.
I am shocked that we are only at the 40-minute mark. I feel like I have experienced 2 entire movies worth, and it's not the format of the podcast we're doing. It just feels like I have been sitting here forever waiting for something to happen in this fucking movie. Luann shows up and Brett doesn't want her back. The weed moss starts expanding across the counter of the weed shop, so they know that this thing is just growing infinitely. Rabbit comes back. Rabbit, everyone's favorite character from the first 2 movies. Rabbit comes back and he is a priest now. At the end of part 2, he said he was going to find God, and he did. But he shows up to smoke with Bachman, and he also sneaks off with the space bong and gets sucked into Bong Planet, and the more and more green UV light naked chicks show up, and Bachman reveals that they're milking him dry, his monkey dust. They're taking his sperm and mixing it with something to create green super splooge. And
well, there you go.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
No, it's just funnier when you say it than when they said it in the fucking movie. It's
So now Bachman and Rabbit are on Bong Planet. Brett, Alistair, and Larnell are trying to figure out what to do. They think, well, the only thing that can stop one talking bong is another talking bong. So we got to go get the evil bong. And they figure out that Larnell's grandpa most likely has evil bong with him. And so they call him, and he shows up in like a tie-dye shirt. He says, "Call me Dr. Weed." And he's got a nurse with him who is like Nurse Hookah. And that's where we're at. I have nothing to say about this 20 minutes. Like every time I would look up occasionally to see what you two are doing. And several times I looked over and Borp is just like wiping his forehead.
Oh God!
Honestly, go ahead, Borp. Go ahead.
No, it's very, very boring. I stand by that. I think for me, this is like, it's still awful. It's still the worst like thing we've done on here. Like maybe in life. I was gonna say on the channel, but maybe in life. Doing this.
We got 5 for 6 more movies to go.
I know. But like, for as much as I'm like, face palming, like groaning at these jokes, there is not like, I did way more of that for the second film. So this is at least like, it's not. I'm not like irrationally angry as much with this one. That's the one thing I'll say.
I don't know. I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Matt, because it's more interesting than this movie, tell us about the commercials that you've been getting on Tubi.
Oh, there was a commercial for high-calorie human females to lose the weight and look good in bikinis. That was a thing. There was a Kia car commercial on there. There was Toyota car commercial on there. Yeah, cars and weight loss. That's what Tubi's selling me right now. And a very excited Jay Farrow hosting We've Got Big Balls, the quiz with balls, tomorrow on Fox.
American. Very American.
This sucks. This is painful. This is nothing I ever want to do ever again, and yet Borf is forcing us to go through like 6 more movies.
We tried to back out, but Borp's like, no. Borp says, no, we finish series once we start them.
I think he threatened friendship with it. He's like, look, if you don't finish like 18 hours of Evil Bong movies with me, then I'm just going to go back to my happy Bong place in Sweden and cut ties with my American friends.
Listen, I know Steve is very excited about Evil Bong versus the Ginger Dead Man. So
that's true. Steve was a little excited about that because Steve did say, "Hey, let's watch all the Ginger Dead Man movies too."
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm a positive person. I'm hoping for the best.
I'm innocent in all of this, guys. I'm 100% innocent.
You started this show. You did this to us.
This is true. It all goes back to me.
And I was dumb enough to join the show after you guys did the entire Subspecies franchise.
Then you started making demands like, let's watch the entire Evil Bong franchise.
Yeah. Okay, here's a question, because there's nothing to talk about with this movie so far. Is this the worst franchise? Could there be a worse franchise that Full Moon has than this? Like, this has to be the bottom of the barrel, right? This has to be.
I feel like there are probably like individual films that are worse than Evil Bong, but as an entire franchise, I'm I'm hard pressed to think of what's worse. Because every franchise we've watched, we found a little bit to enjoy. Like there are some good Puppet Master movies mixed into the Puppet Master garbage. Matt enjoyed Subspecies, and I like maybe like one of the later Subspecies films. I mean, we're only 3 movies in, so we still have quite a ways to go in the franchise. But it has been failure after failure after failure so far. This is
I'm looking
bad.
at a list of their franchises. There's something called Killjoy, which is a franchise.
Killjoy is a franchise, and that's like an urban killer clown.
All right. Okay.
Oh, that might be problematic.
Yeah. Listen,
I don't know.
I heard killer clown and blocked out the word urban.
Okay.
Prehysteria is a trilogy.
That's for kids.
Okay.
So it might be better. I'd watch Prehysteria.
All right, and then there's Ginger Dead Man, and then that's the franchises.
Oh, then we're done with Full Moon Fridays. We just do all the franchises and we're done, right?
No.
Now it's Steve. Now it's on Steve. Steve is the one who's saying no. Now we got to keep going forward.
It's not over until Charles Band dies. Luann burns the company to the ground, and there are no more Full Moon movies. That's when it's over.
Charles Band numbers all of his movies. He's got like almost 400 Full Moon movies that he's done. Full Moon and Empire combined. I mean, this show could last forever.
Or until we hit 400 episodes, whichever comes first.
No, he's going to keep making them even from beyond the grave, Steve. Full Moon's never going to stop. Robin City's going to keep this money machine rolling.
Exactly.
Do you think she would be shameless enough to like bring the spirit of Charles Band into a future movie after he's dead? She
was shameless enough to marry him. Why not?
Wow. And with that, folks, we're going to watch minutes 40 through 60 of Evil Bong 3. We forgot we got a little bit more like a bat towards the camera. So far, the 3D effects have just been a tongue and a bat.
And Larnell's ninja sword, because remember, he's been getting trained by Master Wang Dong.
Is Kamikaze going to show up in this? Is Master Wang Dong actually Kamikaze?
No one knows what to say with that, so we are pushing play.
I'm being careful with my words.
4, 3, 2, 1, play. Pause. Welcome back, everyone. We have all physically and mentally aged in what in Earth minutes was only 20 minutes, but in Evil Bong 3 time, I believe, was several lifetimes.
This is slow.
One of the worst things that I've ever watched. Nothing is happening, or when some minor infinitesimal little thing does happen, it took so fucking long to get there. So much of this movie are just a handful of people standing in one location, having a 10-minute conversation that could have been wrapped up in like 30 to 45 seconds if they weren't deliberately trying to meet feature film running time. Bort, do you have anything to say for yourself?
I tried to make some small talk by being on the Letterboxd page, and you guys yelled at me for it. I was like, hey, let's... I don't know. It's terrible. What else is there to say? We can talk about the set for a little bit. That was fun.
Tell us about the set, Bort. Tell us about the set.
The set looks like it's been... I'm talking about Bong World now, when they're in the alien Bong planet. Because I said something as soon as they got in there. I'm like, it's amazing to me how with each movie, Bong World looks even worse And then they do this like wide shot, and Matt, you clocked it immediately where it's like you can see the wires like of everything hanging, and it just looks like painted cardboard boxes and shit. Upside
so
down
bad.
water coolers with like some sort of lights in the. It's so bad.
It's embarrassing, is what it is. It's
All
quite embarrassing.
So let me talk about the plot. So the Larnell's grandpa, who again is now called Dr. Weed, and he's got Nurse Hookah with him. This is Nurse Hookah's gimmick for this. She is mute, but she mimes everything that Dr. Weed grandpa says. So when he mentions ice cream, she begins eating an invisible ice cream cone. When he talks about, I don't know, an abortion, she reaches in and grabs an invisible baby. Like, that's her thing. She just mimes absolutely everything he says.
They clearly thought this was like a really good bit. They need to extend this bit.
It goes on
set. On set,
and on.
when they're making this movie,
and on.
When the cast and crew are sitting there, and you yell action, and the actors do their thing. Is the cast and crew, are they just like falling on the floor laughing? Do they think this is just hilarious, or is it just Charles Band and everyone's humoring him? Because nobody can think that this is funny, right? Like, this cannot. There cannot be people on Earth that think this is funny. There can't be.
I feel like if they themselves would have thought this was funny, it would have actually come through in the movie, right? Like a lot of I think like a lot of comedies, you can sort of tell like, oh, these people had fun making this movie, even if it's not great, right? There's none of that here. I don't think so. Now,
the last segment, Borp, you were still arguing that this was better than the first two movies. Are you still on that?
Well, okay, I'll
you can give up. You can say this is worse.
I'll concede a little bit and say I don't know if this is better. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I like this more than the last one.
How? Explain yourself.
Because I mean, they're like really embarrassingly bad humor of the last 20 minutes. That was all of Evil Bong 1 and 2. And here, at least the first 40 minutes were boring. I'm okay. I'm way more okay with boring than like painfully unfunny. Because like that's
I have nothing to say. I just have nothing to say. This is one of the. I mean, like, I woke up. This is a Sunday morning. And it's July 27th.
Matt skipped church for this, is what Matt said.
Yeah. I woke up. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go get some donuts this morning. I went, walked over, got some donuts, came back, did a little Fallout 76 video. Well, I'm getting ready. And this has just crushed my day. Like, this has just been fucking awful. And I'm just like, there are 6 more of these movies that we have to get through. And to me, it's like, bad. We're in the depths of hell right now. Like 1, 2, and then 3 has just dropped. And I'm like, can this franchise go any lower? I don't think so. Maybe it'll come back around.
It could take you to Bong Underworld. That's got to be one of them, right? Where they all die and they go to Bong Hell.
Oh,
well, the next one's Evil Bong 420, so that's fun.
Of course it is. All right, so let's talk about the 3 minutes of happenings that they stretched into 20. So it's just, again, like this bit where Nurse Hookah is miming what the grandpa is saying just goes on forever. And so they're trying to cut a deal with grandpa. First, they finally convince him that the space bong is real, but they make a deal. They want the evil bong to they just decide that the only thing that can stop one evil talking bong is another talking bong. And so they're going to give grandpa all of the space weed in exchange for evil bong. And
Steve,
then
just so you know, I'm hearing a little bit of wind action.
Okay,
I'm hearing someone.
I'm
Just
gonna
letting you know.
turn the fan off that's sitting next to me.
I would not want the audience to be like, wait a minute, I can't focus on what Steve's saying here because I hear a little bit of wind action. That's important.
I appreciate you looking out for the audience here. So there again, it's like you, Grandpa, you get the space suite. In exchange, you give us Evil Bong because we decided that Evil Bong will save the day. And then Nurse Hookah grabs Brett in the sleeper hold and is going to choke him out. And so they were previously going to they were trying to get Grandpa to take Evil Bong into Space Bong and investigate, do some recon, come back. But now that, valued team member Brett is in danger, now Larnell and Alistair have to go into the Space Bong. And so they both smoke. We haven't mentioned this yet, but when someone gets sucked into the Space Bong, like images of things related to them pop up on screen. Like when Bachman got pulled into the Space Bong, like images of monkeys flashed on the screen. And so when Rabbit, the preacher man Rabbit gets pulled into the bong, images of the Bible flashed on screen. So Bachman, Larnell, when he gets sucked in, ninja stuff and conspiracy stuff pops. And Alistair, when he gets sucked in, like a pocket protector and images of space appear on screen. Get it? Because he's a nerd. Haha. But now, so Larnell and Bachman, or Larnell and Alistair get sucked into the bong, and then Grandpa is just like, haha, guess what, Evil Bong, I tricked you. You're going in there too. And so then Space Bong just absorbs the Evil Bong without Evil Bong smoking. I mean, I tapped out at that point. Like, if they don't care about continuity, I'm not invested in this movie anymore.
This is the point.
That's the line. There's Steve's line.
I need the world of Evil Bong to be consistent with its own in-world logic, and it's not. So now, so we're and I talked about that for like 2 minutes. This was like 15 minutes of runtime to get to what I just summarized. And so now it's Grandpa and Nurse Hookah and Brett are all just hanging out around the table with the Space Bong. And Larnell, Alistair, basically everyone else, and Evil Bong is in Bong World now. And so Larnell goes to Bong Planet and runs into Rabbit, and Rabbit has a big green gelatinous pump on his dick, and he's just getting milked. They're getting all of that rabbit cum, and then Alistair goes running around and runs into like big plastic water bottles that have been painted green, and that's a set prop, and I assume that they're also filled with like Bachman cum, and so Alistair has like a recorder, and he's dictating what he's seeing all around the Bong World, and then one of the plant ladies gets on him and starts tearing open his shirt, and that's where we're paused. Everyone except for Grandpa, Nurse Hookah, and Brett are now stuck in Bong Planet. And God, am I miserable right now. Like, this is another 20 minutes where we're just sitting here, stone-faced, like not laughing at anything. None of the jokes are landing. Nothing is funny. Even like bits that like could have been funny don't become funny because they get stretched for like 10 times longer than the joke could have been good for. This sucks. Like, I don't know what else to say. This is brutally bad.
At the very end of this episode, when it's all edited, you should just put like a 5-minute straight clip of us just staring stone-faced, not laughing at anything, just at the very end. This is horrible. And there's 26 minutes left, but you said the last 6 minutes.
Yeah. So we are coming up on the finale for our purposes. We're just going to watch till the end of the movie when we hit play again.
And there's probably going to be some sort of end credit teaser, stinger, or something at the end of this. I will point out, I think the best part of this is I'm watching this on Tubi, and you guys have ad blockers on YouTube and you're watching this. And fairly frequently there's been ad breaks that have been popping up for me, and I'd be like, okay, hit pause, guys. I got to wait for these ads to end, so we're on at the same time. And the best part of this past 20 minutes was there's these transitions, just like in movie 1 and 2 when they do scene transitions, these stupid like CG weed, I don't know what you would call them. And every time like that had been happening, it was boom, ad break. All right, guys, it's like Tubi knows when the transition is, whatever. And one popped up, and Borp's like, "Oh, ad break, right?" I'm like, "Nope." And it's just like sheer, like, oh, I wanted to be able to like mentally step away from what I was doing here, and it didn't happen. That was
the thing is, like, in my head, all I was saying was like, "Is there an ad break?" I did not mean to sound that excited.
Well, you sounded very excited.
Yeah, you did sound very excited.
Oh, ad break! No ad break.
The same thing. I thought Borg was like, "Yes, I can do something else for 2 or 3 minutes."
So, oof. I mean, I don't know what else to say about this. Honestly, they invested in some colored gels for their 2 lights. That's nice, I guess.
They've stopped using the Venice Beach B-roll. Is that going to come back, or was that just to fill time early on?
It had to have been just to establish the head shop. I think we can logically say the head shop is in Venice Beach. They established it, and now we're not going back there. This is our last 20-minute segment. Predictions. How does this all shake out? Like, how does this movie end? What happens? How do we protect the world from the alien bong? Borp, we'll go to you first. How do you think this thing ends?
I mean, it's probably the same as the other 2. Everything else has been exactly the same. So, like,
do you remember how the other ones ended?
No.
I don't either.
Remember. The first one ended with Tommy Chong setting off a bomb in Bong World.
Right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The second one ended with them going into King Bong World, and he had a medallion that they smashed, and that's how they killed King Bong.
Yeah, and they left EB out there, but King Bong in the end credits says that that's not how you actually kill. I'm going to predict. I think King Bong makes an appearance at some point at the very end here. I don't know how, but I think King Bong...
He's on the cover art.
He's on the cover art?
No.
Is he?
On Tubi anyway. Yeah, he's on the cover art.
He's on the Reefer Madness cover art. He's not on the Raff and Bong cover
I
art.
didn't even notice that. Shit. Okay, well, that's my prediction anyway. King Bong's going to show up somehow to help save the day.
Okay.
That's as good as idea as anything, because they have not. We're 20 minutes from the end. They have not set up anything.
No,
guys. Let me make a counter prediction.
Okay.
I don't think King Bong will show up.
You think he's on the cover and it's just like getting people to buy?
Yeah.
King Bong's back.
He's not on the Raff and Bong cover art that I'm looking at.
Betrayal by Charles Band. Betrayal. Does Larnell's a ninja, right? Does Larnell's master show up?
I still don't think so.
Don't think so?
I still don't think so. I think because they established that the nurse is like this like super like strong person. I assume that if Larnell does anything with his ninja skills, that he will have a fight scene with her. But they're running out of time to do that if that's their plan.
And he's in Bong World, right? Or Bong Planet. How do you think it's going to end, Steve? What's your prediction?
I have no prediction. They have set up nothing. Their whole plan was just, let's go into the world and see what happens. They've not set up any sort of like weakness for Space Bong. They're just going to have to just whatever end they come up with, they've got to set it up in their final scenes because they did nothing. Or unless this is some master plan where all 3 of us missed some like breadcrumb early on in the movie that establishes like some sort of maybe it's like the Space Bong is allergic to Venice Beach. We got to take him outside, and that's the whole reason that B-roll was there. But I don't know. I feel like they've set up nothing, and so whatever they do, they're just going to pull out of their ass at this point in the movie.
Charles Band's at his laptop right now, smashing in anger. These fuckers didn't pay close attention to my brilliant writing. These idiots would know how it's going to end if they had paid attention.
Is the wife killer from the first segment going to come back? Is he going to be covered in like the weed moss? Is he going to be the plant monster?
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. He wasn't in this one.
Yeah, we haven't seen him since his scene where he sold them space bong.
Interesting. Yeah, let's go with it. Yeah, we're going to say yes. I don't think Charles Band would let us down by like setting something up like that and never paying it off.
For sure, that's never happened before.
So, all right, we're powering through. Let's light up, fellas. And let's. The next 26 minutes is going to feel like 3.5 for us, in our inside of our own heads. But let's get through it, through the end credits, and let's see how it goes.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push play.
I looked over at the video and I thought Steve was frozen, but he's breathing. He's just angry.
Well,
are we back?
Wait, are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
Okay.
I didn't have anything to say. Okay, all right. I'm going to try to go through the
do we need to? Do we need to,
yes.
Steve?
The whole purpose of this was to talk about the plot of this film. So they all...
Borp's leaving. Borp's like, I'm out of here.
No, I need to turn the lights on because for the last 20 minutes it's gotten like darker and darker outside. And inside my heart.
Yeah. All right, so they're inside Bong Planet.
Steve's trying. He's struggling to put the pieces together.
So hard. All right, Grandpa is outside, getting high, smoking, and talking to the space bong, and he's like, "You don't really want to kill all humans, right? You just want to assimilate into our world." And space bong is like, Yeah, that's what I want to do. So, like, Grandpa thinks he's working out a deal with Space Bong. For reasons that I'm not entirely clear on, the Nurse Hookah like just loosens her grip enough for Brett to get away, and so then Brett goes into Bong Planet to like, help
her
his
with
friends.
The bat. Remember?
Yeah, but how did he get away to like grab the bat? And it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter.
No, it doesn't.
He escapes and goes into Bong Planet, where he finds I think Larnell finds Bachman, and Bachman is being covered in like the moss, like Stephen King and Creepshow. And then they also find Rabbit, who is not covered in the moss, and Matt was very upset by this. Like, why is he not also covered in it?
I'm posing question. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. I don't understand. Did they not have the budget to have moss for two different people?
Apparently not. Also, like Rabbit's just like, he says that they drained me, so he is completely out of cum, and so he just zips up his pants and stands up, and now he can walk around and do stuff again. So they find Bachman. He's covered in moss. They actually rescue Rabbit. They find Larnell, Larnell finds Al. And he is being pumped dry. There's a giant spongy green pump on his dick, and it's just chugging tons of cum out of him. Just big green loads going into the tubing. So
Borp
then
could not believe it. Borp was a little like, "This is gross, man." This is.
So then, and we find out that. They're taking this super splooge to grow fake humans that they're going to use to impersonate people and take over the world. And there was a scene in the previous 20 minutes where there was a girl just like standing in what looks like a television screen, and Matt was like, "Oh, I thought that was a real girl, but apparently it's a prop." But no, it's a real girl who just occasionally like reaches out of this screen to try to grab people. And sometimes there's a weird special effect to make it look like she's reaching out of a screen. Sometimes she just reaches out. Doesn't fucking matter. This character does nothing, goes nowhere. She's just kind of there. Brett shows up with his baseball bat and starts like knocking the shit out of the big water jugs full of super cum, and he gets very upset when it splashes all over him. And then so we talked about the evil bong does nothing, contributes nothing, does nothing in this movie. They somehow decide that Bachman's going to be the catalyst. I have no idea what their plan was. Like, I think we all thought that they were going to try to like transfer themselves from Bong Planet to like the evil Bong's like Bong world. But what they actually do is they light the moss that's growing on Bachman, and they make the smoke blow on like the naked chicks, and that kills Space Bong. And then
the girls explode first. They explode, and then the next shot, they're just laying on the ground.
And then they explode again when they get hit with additional weed smoke. I have no idea.
Two explosions. I didn't catch that.
They explode, and then we see them on the ground, and then they explode again. And so then it just cuts to everyone's back in the real world. Like, there's no like resolution. We don't know how they got out. Evil Bong doesn't show back up to do any sort of like comment. She's just gone from the movie at this point.
King Bong never shows up either. I thought
King
my prediction King Bong never shows up.
Lied to you. Poster lied to you.
It's all so they light up Bachman and blow the smoke on the naked chicks, and that kills Space Bong because reasons. And then they come back to the real world through unexplained like methods. Felicity, the girl from the love interest in part 2, shows up and like kisses Larnell, and then Luann comes back.
Oh, and Jesus!
Luann is hitting on Brett, and Brett is like, this scene
so
goes
bad.
On and on and on, where Luann's
10 minutes. It's like 10
just,
minutes after they kill Alien Bong. They've destroyed Alien Bong. The movie goes on another 10 minutes with this cringy, awful.
Yeah, Luann is
comedy. Oh.
Yeah, Luann is just really hot and bothered for Brett, and Brett is like, "No, I don't want you anymore. You showed me your true colors when I was fat in the previous movie." But then Luann's like, but we could just fuck. And Brett's like, actually, you know what? You make a good point. And so then he takes off his robe, and he is covered with the moss, and then the movie just ends.
Yep.
Are we to expect Evil Bong 420 just pick up immediately after this one? Are they ever going to reference this again?
I have.
Wow, this is one of the worst things I have ever sat through.
It's terrible.
Yep,
it's terrible. All I can think of right now is Borp. Can you pick up that guitar and play us a sad tune? Can you write a nice little song about Evil Bong?
I think the like noise cancellation is too good.
Oh, dang it! Good try.
Can you hear anything?
A little bit.
Oh, now I'm hearing nothing.
It's fine. Just you holding that guitar is enough for me.
Okay.
This movie was terrible. The idea that maybe how we went into this, like, hey, if we experience one of these movies together, maybe we will get more enjoyment out of it than watching it, on our own individually, turned out to be completely wrong. Like, I would argue this might actually have even been worse, not because of you guys, but just because it was like we became conscious of our own stupidity at a certain point. and like when we're watching these movies by ourselves, we could pause it, we go do something else, come back. But when we have to experience this together, it's like just wallowing in your friend's misery and be like, we could stop this at any point, and yet we don't.
Yeah,
and there's something about that. There's something about that is uncomfortable for me.
There was a point towards the end where I looked over and I'm like, oh no, Steve's frozen. But he wasn't frozen. He was just sitting there silently enraged.
Like, Bork's like, oh, he's breathing. I can see him breathing.
Yeah, like we watched a lot of garbage on this show. This is the first time I think that we were really like reflecting as the movie was going on, like really thinking about our choices and the terrible choices. I'm gonna stop talking about Evil Bong 3. Let's talk about Evil Bong 420.
Oh yeah, you had something incredible. You said you had something incredible.
Let me just say, because Bork, I ruined a bit that Bork had where he was going to ask us what we thought 420 was going to be about. Apparently, it's about Rabbit opening a 420 friendly topless bowling alley, so we got that to look forward to.
I do like bowling.
When I Googled Evil Bong 420, Google has, people also asked these questions. So one of the questions asked was, how long is the Evil Bong 420? The answer, according to Google, is the film is only 53 minutes, but it feels a lot longer. But that's not the incredible thing. That's not the incredible thing. Okay. The most recent Evil Bong movie is from this year. It's called Evil Bongathon. It's a clip show. It's just clips of all the previous Evil Bong movies. He fucking did it again.
Evil Bongathon?
Evil Bongathon. Yes. It's.
Do we have to watch it?
Yes, we do.
No.
Storyline. Flashback on two decades of debaucherous, delirious Evil Bong escapades in this ultimate hookah horror cinema experience, rolling up the hazy highlights of all 9 maniacal adventures of Evie and her pals into one freaky film. He clip showed us again.
This guy needs to be stopped. I don't know what that looks like, but he needs to be stopped. Evil Bongathon. How many minutes is it? Does it give you a running time?
Let me see. I didn't think that far ahead. Talk amongst yourselves.
So if the next Borp, Evil Bong 420, it's like 53 minutes or something like that. Feels much longer. Do you think? Tell me your prediction for Evil Bong 420. Can it be better? Can it be as bad as this? Can it be worse than this? Like what? Tell me. Give me your take.
I just want to say before I answer that, I was like, oh, cool. That probably means that all of them will be shorter from here on out. And Evil Bong High Five is 71 minutes long, which is still shorter than 80 minutes, but still. I think a shorter runtime is probably good. That was true for those later.
It's probably good, yeah.
Because there was one later Puppet Master movie which was only 50 minutes long, and it was still god awful, but it wasn't as bad as the Axis trilogy.
When we started this journey, Steve and I initially to start, and we're like, man, we were such huge fans of Full Moon. When we were younger, such huge fans, and one of the questions we posed is, are these things going to hold up? Like, how are we going to feel about Full Moon after we watch these? I don't know how many episodes we've done, like close to 40 probably episodes. And man, with every new episode, I like Full Moon less and less and less and less and less. And just this piece of information about Bongathon it makes me feel violent. It's what it does. Like, I want to break something. I want to throw something against a wall. Whether it's, I'm just going to make every movie black and white. So pay me for that. And we're going to noirify everything. Bongathon. We're just going to clip it all together. I mean, I cannot believe. I mean, I should be able to believe, but I don't know what to say, man. Like, this is awful. This dude's a bad dude. He's just a bad human being. And yet, we're going to continue watching this freaking series.
And it's going to culminate in Evil Bongathon, which runs a crisp hour and 28 minutes.
An hour and 28 minutes? An hour and 28 minutes.
So this means that when we do Evil Bong 420, we won't even be halfway done.
No.
We're done because we've got all the Ginger Dead Man movies too that you wanted to watch.
Yeah, Bork, you really wanted to watch those Ginger Dead movies.
That's on you, Steve. That's on you.
We have to find out. When the Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong happens in the timeline, because we might have to watch the Ginger Dead Man films before we get to that one.
I think it's the next one. Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong, 2013.
Oh, is it?
Really?
Okay.
Evil Bong 420, 2015.
Okay, so the next movie we have to watch the Ginger Dead Man.
So we're doing that franchise. How many? Two?
Oh my God. There's only like 3 or 4, right?
I don't know, dude. Charles Band might have made like 5 clip shows of the Ginger Dead movies.
Hold on. I got him here. The Ginger Dead Man 2005, the Ginger Dead Man 2, Passion of the Crust 2008, Ginger Dead Man 3, Saturday Night Fever 2011, and then it's Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong.
3 Ginger Dead movies?
Yeah. I think I'm fine. Just like, should we just move on to Ginger Dead Man and knock out all 4 of those? Or I guess the number 4 is Evil versus Evil Bong.
So take a break from Token on the Bong, the Bong franchise, and then just go, hey, we're gonna get the backstory, the lore of Ginger Dead Man, so that when we go into Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong, we will understand why they're fighting with one another. Is that the plan?
Yep. I think we watched the 3 Ginger Dead movies, then Ginger Dead versus Evil Bong, then we pick up with Evil Bong 420.
My God! By the time we're done with the Evil Bong, by the time we get to Evil Bongathon, there's going to be another Evil Bong movie that he's put out. We're going to have to keep going, and then he'll add that to the clip show. It'll be Evil Bongathon 2.
And we don't have to keep going, but Borp wants us to, and we trust him. Borp wouldn't lead us astray.
Borp's like, man, Evil Bong 7's fucking great. We just got to get there, guys. You got to have all the build up to really get the impact of Evil Bong 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever.
It's like one of those television shows that gets really good, like 5 seasons in. You just gotta stick with it.
Look, Spartacus, one of our favorite shows of all time, Steve and I. You got to wait till episode 4 before it really takes off. So maybe that's where we're at with the Evil Bong franchise. The first 3, okay. Now once Ginger Dead Man is introduced, now it just takes off. Is that possible? Is that something that could happen? I'm holding on to anything.
Abandon all hope.
You guys are not backing me up on that. All right. Well.
Robin Sidney's in the Ginger Dead Man movies too, so we get to look forward to more of that acting.
I think he met her on the first Ginger Dead Man movie. I think that's where they first hooked up. So that's also, we can tell the story of Where's the Bush.
Because look forward to that.
That's the story of Where's the Bush. Ginger Dead Man.
A full moon Friday.
Do you know the story of Where's the Bush?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Okay.
I won't spoil it yet.
Matt, take us out. I think we're done here.
We are terrible human beings. We decide to take the finite amount of time we have in our lives to let Charles Band fuck us over and over and over again. Why? I don't know. Maybe we need to talk to therapists or something. But this sucked. It was awful. And goodbye.